Hi, welcome to A Chef Called Rhonda. I'm Rhonda and this is my kitchen. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make biscotti al limone, lemon cookies. Biscotti al limone. What does that mean? That means lemon cookies. Okay, first, for today's recipe, I would like to go over our ingredients. Super simple, super easy. This lemon cookie is one of the first cookies I was taught to make when I was little. Super easy, super healthy, super delicious, and always super fun. First, let me show you our ingredients for today's recipe. I have 1.5 cup all-purpose flour. I have 1/4 cup of cornstarch plus 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. 3/4 cup of unsalted butter plus 2 tablespoons. And my butter, can you see that? It's already been softened. A teaspoon of good quality salt. And I have about 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. And it wouldn't be a lemon cookie if we didn't have our freshly squeezed lemon juice. I have the juice of 1 lemon, which also known as 2 tablespoons or just slightly over 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And I have the zest of 1.5 lemons. Now I zested that in an effort to save time for you. One quick note here, this recipe is not short on lemon or lemon flavor. It offers such a big lemony bite coupled with that sweetness from the powdered sugar. Stay with me while I show you how to pull all these ingredients together and to make this wonderful traditional lemon cookie. First, I will take our whisk and I will add our flour to our preparation bowl. In addition to the flour, I will then add our 1/4 cup of cornstarch and the 2 tablespoons, and there we go. Make sure you get every bit of the cornstarch. I will add our sea salt. Gently whisk our flour and our cornstarch together, ever so gently. I'll take my large mixing bowl here, and of course the trusty wooden spoon makes that appearance in our large preparation bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cream the sugar, creaming the butter and the sugar together by hand with my wooden spoon, back edge of that spoon, and I'm going to work my butter into the sugar and just pressing ever so gently until the mixture becomes creamed, light, and fluffy. Grandmother would tell me, make the dough, wrap it in parchment paper, and keep it overnight in the refrigerator. And I would say, well, why, Grandma? The flavors of the lemon, the sugar, and the butter will render. So therefore, Grandmother would keep this dough in the refrigerator overnight and then bake them the next day. I finished creaming the butter and the sugar together, and it should look something like this, a nice soft fluffy texture. Can you see that? It is time to add our flour and our freshly squeezed lemon juice. Again, that should be about 2 tablespoons, maybe 2.5 tablespoons. Quick tip, the dough will be sticky, and what I've done is I've reserved about an additional 1 to 3 tablespoons of flour, just in case. I'll reserve it on the side, just in case it's sticky. I can add a little bit more flour to really stiffen it up. That shouldn't really happen, but if it does, that's recipe tip right there. I want to take a moment to say thank you for watching. Many, many thanks. Hi to all my subscribers. Thank you. Subscriber count is growing. We're growing our audience and our community. Thank you. Many, many thanks. A Chef Called Rhonda is always fun, always healthy. The next step is to add our combined dry ingredients. We want to do this in stages. So I'm going to take my trusty wooden spoon and I'm just going to add about half. And just incorporate ever so gently that flour into the butter and the sugar. I'm going to add our freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I'm going to do this by tablespoons, okay? I've already squeezed the fresh lemon, and I'm just going to go 1 tablespoon here. Again, this recipe is not short on lemon flavor. And I'm going to add my second and it has a bit of that pulp too. And you can smell the citrus and you can smell the freshness from the lemon. And now I'm going to go back into the cookie dough. I'm going to incorporate that lemon juice into flour and the creamed butter and sugar. And it's starting to smell very lemony in this kitchen. And add the remains of our flour, our dry ingredient. I'm using the back edge, or the back portion of the spoon. Careful, because that flour will pop out on you and start to shoot and make a little bit of a mess here. But, okay, so now again, just about 12 strokes here before I add 1 more tablespoon, because I'm liking the lemony scent here. Lemon zest. Can you see all of that bits of goodness? We freshly zested, and that's going to give it a pop of color, as well as that nice bite. And by the way, I do have my spatula here. I like to work in tandem with the spatula and the wooden spoon to cleanse the wooden spoon of any ingredients that may stick. To work with my spatula to drive that lemon zest into the cookie dough. 1 teaspoon additional of that lemon juice right here. I'm gonna go for it. All right, there we are. Okay, so I'm just going to build that in to the cookie dough very, very nicely here. You can see the bits. You can see the bits of lemon zest. It really gives it that nice little added color. Again, these cookies all natural, no added preservatives, no food coloring added here. It's just the natural flavor from our fresh lemon and the juice therein. Okay, so here is our final cookie dough. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Let me bring it up nice and close. Can you see that? So it should look something similar to a nice cookie dough, light and fluffy consistency. We'll have our oven preheated to 320 degrees, and they cook for 5 minutes at 320, and then we bump up the oven to 350 and cook another 10 minutes until the cookie is light and golden brown on the bottom. This recipe is once we remove the finished cookie from the oven, we allow it to sit in its own baking sheet for 5 minutes before we transfer the cookie to a wire rack. It's optional if we want to add our lemon glaze. I'll have the lemon glaze recipe scrolling. You too can just dust it with powdered sugar or leave it completely alone. It makes a wonderful appearance. Now it's time to turn the cookie dough out onto our parchment paper. Just flour my hands. So the cookie dough is on the parchment paper, and at this time I'm going to roll the cookie dough into a log about 1.5 inches in diameter. I'm just going to roll it, and I'll bring up the parchment paper with the dough in it so you can see what I've done. Can you utilize the parchment paper to roll the cookie dough symmetrically? The cookie dough package into the refrigerator and let it sit there for an hour. Now you can also let it sit there overnight. It's your choice depending on your time availability. Okay, so I'm just gonna, and you can already see, and I'm gonna bring this up. You can already see the log taking shape. And I'm going to bring it up close. Can you see that? You can already see it. And it just makes a very professional type looking cookie. And the parchment paper gives it some edging. And I'm just stroking it ever so gently. I will roll it all the way back to have a look at the dough. And it's taking shape very nicely. I'm going to take my palms here and I'm just going to cap it at the ends. And I'm just going to add a sprinkle of flour onto my parchment paper, just a tad. And close it like so. You can see that. I folded it back. Can you see that? I just folded it back. So that's our cookie dough. It's in one long log. I'm going to pop this in the refrigerator for about an hour, or at least an hour. You can go all the way up to 24 hours, and depending on what you'd like to do. All right. Biscotti al limone. Gotta work on that one. All right. We'll see you back in the kitchen. Okay. Welcome back. Our dough has been sufficiently refrigerated. So our biscotti al limone cookie dough, lemon cookie dough, has been sufficiently refrigerated. I did refrigerate this dough for about 2 hours. There's a couple of techniques that I'd like to show you in reference to slicing the cookies. In addition to that, the oven is preheated to 320 degrees. I know that sounds strange, but these cookies are very delicate. We will slice them about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch. They will bake at 320 degrees for 7 minutes. At that 7-minute mark, bump up that oven to 350 degrees. And then I will finish baking the cookie for about 4.5 to 5 minutes. The cookie should be golden brown on the bottom, golden color around the top. And then we will allow them to cool in the pan. We'll remove them to a wire rack and then dust them with powdered sugar or the option of the lemon glaze. Powdered sugar, it just adds that much more of a delicate finished look. Unwrap our dough. The dough is sufficiently chilled and you can see the nice texture that the parchment paper gave to the dough. And you can see, and here, rolling the cookie dough originally in the parchment paper, I reference capping the end, and that is what it should look like on 2 baking sheets. One I have lined with parchment paper, and the other a traditional silk pad. Now the dough is nice and hard, obviously, from the refrigeration process. So I'm going to take a medium serrated knife, like so. I opt for a thinner knife so I can utilize the handle a little bit better. And I'm just going to slice right through the cookie dough. Ideally, you want the cookies the same size, and so I'm going to show you exactly what this first cut looks like. You can see the width of the cookie. Can you see that? It's about a 1/2 inch, maybe 1/3 of an inch. And you can, so the cookie has a bit of texture on top from our hand rolling within the parchment paper. So it gives it a nice little textured look, a real unique kind of cookie. So I will separate the cookies by about 1 inch on the baking sheet. They won't really spread too much. It's a super easy recipe. Minimal ingredients with big, bold flavor. This cookie is not short on lemon flavor. However, that said, you can add up to a teaspoonful of your organic lemon extract. I really love the vibrancy of lemon. You can add that organic extract, thus keeping it all natural as well. Okay, so I'm working my way through the cookie dough. Now this should make about 36 cookies. My first sheet has 15 lemon cookies, or biscotti al limone. Okay, so we have 15 for our first baking sheet. We're going to pop this into the 320 degree oven for 7 minutes, bump the oven up to 350, and bake it off for about 4.5 minutes until lightly golden brown on the bottom. Okay. So while we're waiting for our cookies to bake, I wanted to take this opportunity to say hi to all my subscribers. Thank you so much for all your emails, comments, and suggestions. Greatly appreciated. And for any potential subscribers out there, would you please consider subscribing to A Chef Called Rhonda? Always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. So hit that like button, comment down below, give us 2 big thumbs up. I'm going to transfer them to the wire rack and dust them delicately with powdered sugar. And there it is. There's our lemon cookie. Can you see the golden brown on the bottom with the white, and you can see the bits of zest, the thickness of the cookie, and soft and melt in your mouth texture. I've taken about a tablespoon of powdered sugar and I put it in my tea ball. And because the tea ball obviously has little holes, I am just going to take a spoon and gently, because this cookie doesn't need much, just gently hit the tea ball with my spoon and just dust them ever so gently. Our lemon cookies are finito. Here we are. Our lemon cookies are plated, powdered sugared. They look ready to take a big bite out of that lemon cookie. Okay, so let's take a bite out of that cookie. It's still a tad warm. Oh, it smells heavenly. And you can see when you break it open, you can see the lemon zest. All right, well, here's to you. Here's to my subscribers. Thank you so much for watching A Chef Called Rhonda. Let's take that big bite of this little delicate lemon cookie. Wow. Oh, the citrus and the lemon on your tongue with the delicateness of that powdered sugar and the crispiness that I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Salute. From my kitchen to yours. It's always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. Until we meet again, Chindan. Salute. Bye. Be sure to subscribe to A Chef Called Rhonda. Hit that like button, give us a 2 thumbs up, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can leave them down below or email me and I'll be sure to respond. Bye! Bye!